You know, I still remember that day like it was yesterday, the kind of moment that hits you out of nowhere and changes everything you thought you knew about people, power, and payback. I was Dr. Elena Reyes Thompson, top neurosurgeon at a big hospital in Chicago, just wrapping up a grueling week of surgeries and lectures, sliding into seat 1B on Summit Airlines Flight 422 to Paris, dreaming of nothing but wine and quiet with my husband Marcus waiting on the other end. But then this captain, Robert Hayes, struts in late 50s, starched uniform. That fake pilot charman locks eyes on me. Or more like my earrings, these intricate gold hoops from my abuela's side of the family. Part of my Mexican heritage that I wear like armor, and he smirks, loud enough for the whole first-class cabin to hear. Well, didn't expect a fiesta up here in first class, did we? God, the silence after that, it was like the air got sucked out of the plane before we even taxied. I felt that familiar burn, the one I'd pushed down 100 times in boardrooms and ORs where folks like me, with my last name and my look, still stick out to some. But this guy, Hayes, he wasn't done. He waves it off with a chuckle, like it's just banter, just saying, "You bring a little spice to the cabin, enjoy the flight," and winks, that gross, entitled wink, before barking at the flight attendant, Sarah, to keep things smooth. Sarah's eyes meet mine for a split second wide, apologetic, but she's frozen, too junior to push back against a guy who's flown these routes since the Stone Age. The other passengers? Suits buried in their laptops, suddenly fascinated by the seatback screens. Nobody wants to rock the boat when champagne's flowing. Me? I sip my mimosa, heart pounding like a drum, thinking, do I explode and become that angry Latina? Or do I play it smart? I choose smart, pull out my phone, text Marcus. At the gate, pilot just hit me with some racist crap about my earrings, fiesta in first class. Not okay. His reply's instant, stay put. I'm handling it. And oh man, Hayes had no clue what he'd unleashed. Marcus isn't just my husband. He's the CEO of Vanguard Capital, the firm that bought Summit Airlines 2 years back, a quiet powerhouse who built his empire from nothing. But cross him, especially when it comes to mean, it's like flipping a switch. I watch the cockpit door, the murmurs starting as boarding drags on, the jet bridge still attached. Then Marcus appears, average build, sharp suit, that calm intensity like he's about to close $1 billion deal. Sarah stammers, "Sir, we're closing up," but he just says, soft but steel-edged, "Not yet. Need a word with the captain." Hayes bursts out, scowling at the delay. "What's the holdup?" "Economy's that way, buddy." Marcus steps right up, eyes locked. "Captain Robert Hayes?" Hayes puffs up. "Yeah, and you are?" "Marcus Thompson, CEO of Vanguard Capital, your boss, essentially, since we own this airline." "And that woman in 1B? The one you just insulted with your Fiesta BS?" "That's Dr. Elena Reyes Thompson, world-class neurosurgeon, saves lives daily. My wife." The gasp from the cabin priceless, like a movie scene where the villain's mask slips. Hayes goes ghost white, stammering, "It was a joke, misunderstanding, come on." Marcus doesn't flinch. "A joke? You humiliated a passenger, me wife in my plane, in a uniform I pay for. You're a walking lawsuit, a disgrace. You're fired. Get your crap and get off." Hayes splutters about unions, procedures, but Marcus cuts him. "We'll handle the paperwork. Co-pilot can taxi us back." Out. And just like that, Hayes grabs his bag, shoots me this hateful glare like it's all my fault. His bigotry blew up in his face and slinks off the jet bridge. 30 years of flying, ego shattered in minutes. We deplane, new flight arranged, passengers comped big time, and as Marcus takes my hand, whispering, "You okay?" I nod, that tear slipping out, not from hurt anymore, but relief, like finally, someone fought back without me having to scream. But here's where it gets real messy, you know? That high of instant justicite fades quick when the corporate gears kick in. Back in the lounge, Marcus is on calls with his HR chief, Linda, and lawyer, Greg, faces popping up on screens, all grim. Linda's like, "Marcus, firing him publicly?" Bold, but it's a procedural nightmare scream, no due process. Greg nods. "We could have suspended, investigated, built a case airtight in 48 hours. Now, he's got ammo for wrongful termination." Me? I'm sitting there, feeling less like the hero's wife and more like a PR crisis, my pain boiled down to liability charts. Marcus snaps back, He degraded my wife, zero tolerance. End of story. But deep down, I see the worry in his eyes. She acted from the gut, from love, but skipped the playbook, and now the board's whispering about emotional decisions. We jet off privately to Paris, trying to vacation, but shadows linger. Every ping on his phone. I flinch, wondering if Hayes is plotting. And plot he did. Silence for a week. Then bam. An article drops on this edgy site. The Watchtower. Sky high cancel. Veteran pilot axed over harmless quip by mogul CEO. Hayes spins it masterfully, paints himself as the blue-collar hero. I've flown through wars, raised a family, saw her earrings, thought festive, made a dumb joke. Next, her hubby storms in, fires me like trash. Cancel culture at 30,000 feet. Viral overnight. Hashtags flying. Stand with Hayes. Comments like, billionaire tantrum over nothing. Even digs at me. Those hoops scream attention seeker. Marcus rages. He's twisting it, playing victim. But the narrative shifts. It's class war now. Hayes the underdog against elitist us. Stock dips. Board panics. Robert Caldwell calls. Marcus, your stunt gave him a megaphone. Settle, or we're voting no contest.